Did you know an elite level footballer over the course of a match can cover between 6 and 8 miles? That's 10 to 13 kilometers of running. The truth is, for football, it's a running-based sport unlike so many others, based solely on the time length of the match, but also on the factors that you have to combine together nicely to make sure that you're effectively running out the entire match. A sport like football is combining things like aerobic fitness and anaerobic fitness and top-end speed and trying to match that with direction change and power and vertical leaps. And we haven't even got to ball skills just yet. So with all of that said, it's really important that when we structure our running element of our game, we're doing it in a way which is proven to work with players and coaches from a variety of competition levels, fitness levels, and playing positions. With that said, today I want to walk you through how we structure the pre-season training component of running with the clubs and coaches that we work with all around the world, because a really refined plan here can pay off not just at round one, but throughout the course of the season if you maintain it well. But for today, our main focus is on structuring that perfect pre-season running plan. Now, how do we do it? If you look at the average length of clubs from around the world's preseason, we're dealing with around 3 months, regardless of what level of competition you're at or whether you're here in Australia, in Europe, in America. 3 months seems to be the baseline. Here at Relax Running, the way we structure that 3-month period is really important. We take an athlete, regardless of their fitness level, over the course of that 12-week block to a much higher level of fitness. And here's exactly how we do it. We recommend that if you're a part of the Relax Running membership, you're committed to doing a bare minimum of 3 with the optional 4th day of running. Now, bear with me here because that can terrify a lot of people. This isn't all intense running. The first 4 weeks, or phase 1, is where we focus on developing the aerobic component of your game. As we said, roughly 80% of your game is in that aerobic level. It's between sprints. You've got to have a solid baseline aerobically if you're going to do the other elements effectively. But so many of us don't. So this first phase is committing to 3 to 4 days of around 15 to 40 minutes worth of incredibly slow running. If you're into heart rate training zones, it's zone 2. It's a training zone which is structured in order to develop your cardiovascular fitness over the course of the first month. The beauty with this is it brings our fitness to a baseline where if we've handled this well, we can start to take steps towards more specific fitness. That's what you'll notice through the way that we structure our preseason plans, is that the closer we get to game day, the more specific our training gets in terms of structure and intensity and recovery to what actual game day looks like. With that said, after phase 1, we move into phase 2, weeks 5 to 8 of our 12-week plan. Now here, again, we're still doing around 4 days of running, but the difference is one of those days starts to take on the characteristics of game day fitness. What is that? Well, the truth is, progressive overload is the most effective and proven strategy that works not only with us, but with athletes in running-based sports, where over the course, I would recommend for a footballer using between 100 and 250 meter repetitions, between 6 and 10, at around about an 80% intensity level with 45-ish seconds recovery. Now, progressive overload is a style of training which varies significantly depending on where it is that you're doing it. But at Relax Running, we're famous for what we call the chart. Now, an example of a chart which changes each and every year is starting with around 8 times 150 to 200 meters at, as I said, 80% intensity level. And as we get fitter, the speed that we're required to run increases and the recovery that we're allowed to have decreases. It's part 1 in making sure that our recovery time and fitness level is ready to roll come game time. This gets further refined in phase 3, but we'll talk about that in just a moment. On top of this more intense session within our week, we're also starting to incorporate some speed and agility, some dynamic direction change, some reaction time activities, so that we're making sure we're not just fit and able to run in a straight line, but we're fit and able to move around the field effectively. Because there's no point being the fittest athlete who can run in a straight line if you don't have the capacity to change direction. Footballers need this more than any other athlete, and that becomes a really essential ingredient in this phase of our training structure. Then we get to phase 3, the last month of preseason training. This is where the intensity of our progressive overload training, our chart, increases, our recovery drops, and we start to add an additional optional day of speed, agility, and power. This is where we're further complementing the requirements that footballers are required to take into round one. Now, the truth is this can be overwhelming. It can be a lot to take on. If you need a guide throughout preseason, that's exactly why we exist. We have a day-by-day, step-by-step plan that takes into consideration all of these components to serve as your partner in planning the perfect preseason, either for yourself or the club that you're working with. Beyond that, we also have coaches that you can speak with directly via email to answer any questions that might not be already incredibly clear throughout the structured training programs. The most important thing when it comes to running, like so many other elements, is not to be a hero at the start. Too many athletes go out there with the idea that they're just going to smash themselves from week one for as long as they can. This is the quickest way, not only to performance plateaus, but also to see niggles, inflammation, and just joint pain in general start to creep in. If you want to be a successful and fit footballer, you've got to be committed to putting in this work over a long period of time and making sure you do the hard running when it should be hard, but making sure you recover when you need to recover. Now, if you've enjoyed this or you think you could benefit from a relaxed running preseason guide, hit the link in the description to this video. It'll take you to our preseason membership and it will offer a bit more of an overview of exactly how it is we can structure your preseason training plan. More than that, for watching this video, if you're interested, you can save 20% by entering the coupon code SUPERRELAXED. This is going to take 20% off whether you're a coach looking for something for your club or whether you're an athlete looking for something for yourself. If you've got questions, there's so many questions to answer around this world of preseason running. Please list them in the comments below. In the meantime, I'm really looking forward to hearing from you and how we can be of service in helping you structure the perfect preseason training program. In the meantime, happy training, and I'll speak to you guys in the comments below.